Hello and welcome to Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy, and today we're joined by our art lord, Ben Segas.
Hello.
And our resident animancer, giver of movement, Nyka.
Hi.
Oops, I didn't say your full name, Nyka dear.
Sorry. Hello.
I try to keep it even, use everybody's full names. If this is your first episode of this podcast, if you're just jumping in, we're a small game dev company, a couple of artists that decided to make a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure, and it's called Dungeons of the Obelisk, and this is our podcast. It's kind of our audio journal of our progress, and we talk about things we're working on and issues we run into, and hopefully it's entertaining for you. Kel's not on this episode. He's traveling. But before he left, he turned in his Prototype 5 build, and there's a ton of new stuff in it to talk about. So I have a little bit of a list here, so we'll try to maybe stick to that so we don't miss anything. But first thing on the list is the puke rat that we've been talking about is finally in the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's so cool seeing that thing moving around in game. I was not expecting that, actually, so that was really cool.
The run
I love the run.
Yeah, the run animation for it is amazing. Like, it runs on all fours, and then it, like, stands up and hangs out, and then it runs again. It's so much better than it, like, ever needed to be.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of just I was trying to figure out how to make him walk around on two legs, and then I was like, well, I'd almost want to, if that almost felt like pretty hard on itself, because I was like, well, he'll be just kind of waddling, so I was like, can I make it walk on all fours? Let's try it. And so it just kind of became a little challenge, and I'm happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, definitely. I can only imagine just walking on the two legs, it'd look kind of like a penguin or something. But yeah, the four legs is so much better.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was running into as well. I was like, he's so upright that it kind of looks silly when he like tries to hobble around that way. But ferocious otherwise. Like, I love the idea of it crawling up you on all fours and then getting up and being like tall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm, well, first of all, anybody that's listening to this, around this time I'm going to record the Prototype 5 video, so that should be on knobcat.com and the link to the YouTube video if you want to check that out and to see anything we're talking about. But my one note on the rat is it's kind of huge, isn't it?
It's pretty big, yeah. Imposing, kind of.
Like,
yeah.
Like, if the rat is that big, like, how big is the gelatinous cube gonna be?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good point.
Might have to bring down the size a little bit.
Yeah. I think the rat's gonna get shrunk from what it is now, but it's pretty scary the way it is right now.
Yeah, seriously. Could always scale one up and make it like a boss. Or like a mid-boss or something.
Yeah, that's might be interesting to people how that's gonna work. Right now, the glub and the puke rat are both trash mobs, which means they're always going to be that rarity. Like, they'll always be trash mobs. But the gelatinous cube that we've already started talking about, that's going to be the next one that we put into the game. And the other ones like that, it's sort of hard to explain. I guess the other end of it is the bosses. So once we get to making a boss, the boss will always be a boss, and it'll be a legendary rarity. And the trash mobs will always be trash, but the mobs that are in between that can be trash, uncommon, or rare. So those ones will be differentiated by size a little bit, and then I think the rare ones, which are going to be like elite mobs, they'll have like some sort of icon or something to indicate that they're like max power or whatever.
Right. Kind of like the skull that a lot of games use.
Yeah, exactly. I have it noted down for one of your next things whenever we get to it, Ben, is the elite skull.
Ah, gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of like little UI stuff that I've been noticing. I don't know if this is a place to talk about it or not, but since I brought it up, like I've been noticing like just there's a ton of wee little stuff that like the question marks that pop up above their heads whenever you go into a fight. Like that's just like a default font question mark and stuff. So I think that's something you're gonna have to make a little image for, and like a lot of games like this have their own cursor that kind of fits the style of the game, so that was something I was kind of thinking maybe we could throw in there. Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff like that.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm always glad when you say it's gonna be fun.
See, a lot of the time when I say that, I know it's going to be a challenge, but I like that because like it makes me think more about it and more in depth about how things will interact and stuff. So I like the challenge aspect of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. As we're recording this a little bit early, so we don't have to record on the holidays. So the episode that I did with Kel hasn't gone up yet, but we talked about that a bunch on there. Like, you know, the challenge of designing the game and him taking all of my ideas and making them into the game. And then I asked him if he was having fun, because that's one of the biggest things that I'm like hoping, because this has been so much fun for me. So it's awesome that you guys both have fun, you know, animating and drawing and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely.
The challenge is definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's something that stays in the game. You know, like Kel said that in game development, he's the one with the most experience. So I'm always saying Kel said, but he said there's a part of game development that's called the swamp, where it gets kind of I don't know if boring's the right word, but you get into like a lot of like really small tweaks and bug fixes, and everything's pretty much done. Everything quits being new. So hoping that it stays fun through that.
I imagine so.
Sure, we'll figure it out.
Speaking of small little changes and stuff, the next thing on our list is the stat ranges. Did you guys notice like the modifiers on loot? We're dropping different stat ranges now.
Yeah.
I was noticing that like customizing your build with like different, even like duplicates of the same thing seems pretty important, because there's a lot of variance on it. I was noticing like there's a lot of like stats that are like something plus something. Is that like the buffs you mean?
Yeah, the way it all works. So any piece of loot, like any item, weapon, or whatever that you drop, it has the major stats, where it gives you, you know, whatever it is, the range 100 to 250 or something, major stats. So those are your strength, your dexterity, constitution, and karma. And then everything else on the weapon is a modifier, is what we've been calling them. And a modifier is always a percent bonus to what you have. So the example is like crit chance. You know, you have your critical chance, and by default you have 0. So an item might give you plus 2.5 crit chance. So they're always like a percentage. So when you get a major stat modifier, then it's a percentage boost to your major stats. So you might have, you know, 300 strength from your items, and then you have an item with a modifier of like plus 10% to strength. So then you get like an extra 30 tacked on your strength.
Gotcha, that's cool. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun with the build stuff, I guess. Just kind of trying to get through the 10 floors of our current prototype was it felt like a pretty good grind. Like I wasn't really just wiping them out till maybe near the end there. I think like floor 7 or 8.
The one thing that I've been testing like for balance and stuff is right now every item drops everywhere. so you get legendaries all the time, so it's really like hard to not just use legendaries. But I've been just using like uncommons and rares and seeing how you can advance through, and you can actually like beat level 10 with level 9 rares. So I think the balance feels really good right now, you know. And then when we get some stronger mobs, you might have to have a legendary or something for it to work, but by the time you're level 9 or 10, you should have found a legendary by then.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was a bit more brutal in update 4. Like, it doesn't feel necessarily easier, but it feels like a lot more manageable, I guess, at this point. Like, it feels like I have more control over like the pacing, I guess. I see on our list that we're getting more loots from mobs. I was noticing more drops during battles too.
Yeah, so before this prototype, mobs didn't give any loot. The only loot you got was from chests. So now whenever you defeat a mob, it gives you a piece of loot. So that's huge for, you know, something basic for a game, but it's huge for making it feel like it's supposed to, you know. Because before, I would sneak around the dungeons and try to get to the chests without fighting the mobs to see what I would get.
Yeah.
And now you have to defeat the mobs to get stuff, so it makes it, you know, it makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it gives you more reason to fight the mobs.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually chests aren't going to give loot like they do now. You know, right now they just kind of give everything, but eventually you'll just get gold and crystals and things like that from chests. Crafting materials, you won't get your loot from there anymore.
Gotcha.
And some of the loot now has art.
Yes, yeah. I love seeing like the new art on the items. It's so cool.
I like forgot about it for some reason. I don't know if I forgot about it or not, but like I equipped something and it was like an offhand. Oh, it was the doll. I equipped the doll and I was like, there it is. Like it just like was so, it startled me. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm so used to looking at the default stuff and now it's finally here.
Yep. Yeah, because I initially equipped it without realizing that the artwork had been added in, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize Kel already got to that. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little disheartening right now because the new art is on the uncommon items, so like they're items you don't use all the time, so like
you
still don't get to look at it whenever you get built up, but I think that the outfit looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really liking the way all of it's coming together, like with the outfits and stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited to get all of them in there and then start mixing and matching and see what I can break and what I can make look cool and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of looks and stuff, the next thing on our list is the hairs, the mouths, the eyebrows. We actually have all that stuff in our character creator now.
Yeah. Like, I knew that it was gonna, like, I had faith that it would look really good once it's in, and it, like, looks even better than I initially envisioned. So, it looks so good.
For real, honestly. I'm loving the hair options and the different, like, customization options. It goes a long way to making the character feel like my own.
Yeah, because I think Kel added a few more like color options too, and that just like fleshed it out so much.
Yeah, I was noticing there's like some fun colors in the hair. I think it used to be like black, blonde, and red.
Yeah.
But now you have like green and blue and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, the way I want it to work is for the hair to be like pretty much every color that you could imagine dyeing hair.
Yeah.
And then for the skin tones, I want them to be like basically every real skin tone that a human being can have. He added some like red and blue ones that are a little dramatic. They kind of look like a space alien or a demon or something. I'm not sure if those are gonna stay in, but
like blue and red Oni or something.
Just need some horns.
For sure.
Eventually we'll get there. demon pack.
Awesome. I'm already thinking about how to draw that.
We have the cat ears for Nyka's hair. It's not they're not in the game or anything yet, but that's an asset we have. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm thinking like one of the first cosmetic packs that we'll put out when the game launches is the dev pack where it's like my sunglasses, Ben's third eye, Nyka's ears, and Kel's glasses.
Awesome.
Nice. I like that idea. Really fun. And yeah, I notice you have the hide headgear option. I love when RPGs have that. Because, it always kind of sucks when you're like, I spent 3 hours building this character and I'm never going to see their face, Dark Souls. But,
yeah.
But, a lot of MMOs, I see that option where you can sometimes even, equip the whole outfit, and then that's, separate from what you have for your stats, and I'm just like, that's nice.
That's how our game is going to be. Eventually, you'll have the inventory like it is now, and then there will be a button that says wardrobe.
Ah, nice.
When you click on the wardrobe, you'll go in and you'll be able to put anything that you've ever owned, even if you've scrapped it, don't have it anymore, that kind of thing. It'll still be there, and you can put that as your cosmetic for that item.
Nice.
I love that. That's so good.
So you can look however you want and then still equip all the best stuff in the game. That way it keeps everybody from just looking identical, all having protection of the hills as their body.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people running around in this awesome gold armor we've released, and it's just like, oops, that's all we got now. I remember that on what was it, on Maple Story, anytime a new cosmetic or a new rare legendary weapon would come out, everybody would have it for a month. You just get so tired of even seeing it. You're like, God, I get it, you pay to win. No.
Yeah, the way to do it is you buy those and then you don't use them for a year, and then you bring it out and everybody's like, oh, where'd you get that, all the new players, and you're like,
yeah. Well, I love the idea of it having the cosmetic side so that you can focus on making your character look how you want, and that way that's really good.
Yeah, that's something I really enjoy in games, so definitely wanted to build that in.
Yeah, definitely.
We're talking about the inventory and stuff now, so let's say you can sort the inventory now. That for me was game changing, huge, being able to tell what items I had.
Yeah.
Seriously. Especially when you get to later floors, your inventory gets so full. I was really happy to see sorting options finally.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier.
Well, right now we don't have the blacksmith yet, so you can't go scrap all your trash items either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just end up with a pocket full of crafting items.
Yeah, but we're doing something that I really enjoy in games that have it, which is the separate tabs. So you can just hit your crafting tab and see all the crafting items you have, or you hit your consumable tab and you can just see all the consumables. You don't have to sort,
nice.
or whatever. So
yeah, I just saw that in there and I was like, oh, that's gonna be so handy. It's so much easier because especially, just right now, just kind of going through the equipment and weapons and stuff, it just makes it so much easier than having to go through all of the materials and stuff when we because we're getting a whole bunch of that stuff as we're going through the dungeons, and it just kind of gets in the way at this point.
Yeah, for sure. We have so many items that drop that we can't use yet.
Yeah.
All the consumables, the only consumable we have is the one trash potion, so everything else that drops is you can't even use them. they don't do anything, so
right.
That's a future update, is to build that whole system for using your consumables and stuff. So trying to get combat working perfectly first, I think.
Yeah, High priority.
The one thing I ran into when I was testing was the one dagger, the Blade of End. It was like only using the basic attack and like would never spend mana, and I don't know why it was doing that. But
weird.
But Kel went in there and did like a whole overhaul on the auto battle logic, which made it play a lot better too.
Yeah, I was noticing like just having the auto battler on it, it seems to make a lot more like strategic choices now compared to initially when it would pretty much just attack. Like I've seen it my character heal themselves a few times now, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you heal at 30%. If you get below 30%, they'll use a potion if you have one.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
And we were saying that in the future we might add like targeting as well, right? Like
Yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be in the game. Right now, almost all the attacks hit like the front row. There's a couple like attack randoms and a couple attack last, but the attack target enemy doesn't work yet. So those ones got converted to like attack closest.
Yeah.
So that will help a lot of the balancing of the weapons too. Like, the bow's a bit weaker, but once you can snipe the enemy that you want with it, that'll make the mana cost worthwhile.
Right on. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've been thinking that. I was like, it'd be cool to be able to like, especially if one of the enemies is about to be down, like targeting them specifically, or if one's like healing the others, for instance.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be that bit of strategy to it, I think. I think like AoE attacks are going to be super valuable. Those might end up having to have their mana costs adjusted a bit. There's that kind of thing. Right now, like the Wolf Gift of Slaughter sword is like kind of the weakest sword because it only hits the front with all 3 of its attacks, but 2 of those attacks should be target enemies. So I think that's going to take it to like a lot better, more even with everything else once it can attack target.
Yeah, I noticed that with the Wolf of Slaughter. That one has like one of my favorite names, but I ended up like replacing it really fast.
Yeah, one thing that I like is that you can roll like a bad sword or like you can roll bad stats on stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll have like a good weapon, but a bad weapon might still have better stats. So it's really like a strategic kind of thinking about like how to build with what you have.
For sure. Like for a bit there, I kept finding like the starting sword. I would find like better rolled versions of that, and I'd just be like, okay, I just replace it. And then but then, like I said, after a point, I had it all just outbalanced, and I had like no speed, and I had like a ton of attack, and I was like, what am I doing?
You mentioned the starting sword. That's actually something that I think we're gonna take out.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't made a decision about it yet, but Ben, you can fill me in how it worked for you. But Nyka, when you played, and then I let my wife play for a little bit, not like let her, but she actually had time to come in and play. Yeah. And she did the same thing. You start with a legendary sword and nothing else. And that sword is balanced to carry you through the first couple levels until you find something better. But what happens is you find another weapon and you want to try it. But
yeah,
it's junk and you can't. If you put it on, you'll just get destroyed. So we either have to not have weapons drop for the first 3 levels, or change how we do like the tutorial.
Gotcha.
And right now I'm leaning towards just making the Face Gold Longsword into an item, just a regular legendary sword that can drop, and kind of reworking its stats a little bit, and then just having a chest with trash and uncommon stuff that can get you started, because then when you find something, it's worth replacing what you have, and you're replacing it with something that you found on your own, which is more exciting than being given a good sword and then not being able to replace it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, did you run into that too, Ben? Like,
Yeah, pretty much every playthrough, I end up keeping that sword for quite a while, and I have all these other main hand weapons that I don't end up using at all because of just how good that initial sword is. So yeah, that would definitely make sense, like kind of switching it out. Is that gonna create problems with like the balance of the mobs, or is it?
I don't think so, because I've been testing it where I go into level 1, get rid of the sword, get rid of the tutorial sword, and then spawn in a bunch of trash stuff and an uncommon weapon. And as long as I get the stats right on them, you can still go into level 1 and do fine.
Okay.
So it works pretty good. I have like a little note for Cal of like what the starting stuff should be. So I think that's gonna work out. But if not, the initial character starts with 2 points in every major stat, and then you gain 2 points in those stats every level.
Right.
And I think just buffing what you start with would also help.
That works.
That's a little look into the development of it. So I don't know about anybody else, but I find that stuff like super interesting. Like,
for sure.
Like you said, it's a challenge. It's like a puzzle you have to solve to make it work right and feel natural.
It's like I find it very interesting, but I just don't like have the brain for for the numbers and all that stuff. Like,
and with that, oops, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, just the fact that you have been able to balance things out so well with just figuring out the numbers and stuff. It still blows my mind.
Yeah, no, like, whatever I end up doing with animation, I feel like you're doing at least as much, if not more, on the numbers side of things. And, like, Ben, that stuff is always kind of a little bigger than I can understand, but when you're playing it, you can feel it, whether you understand the numbers or not. And the game feel has really been getting pretty good, so I feel like that's a testament to your work on it.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that's a testament to like it just being a good game. Like we started out like, this is a game I want to play. That's why we're doing this.
Right.
So I can play this game. And then the point of the prototype, like why it's called a prototype and not like alpha or beta or whatever like that, is because we're still just making sure it's a good, fun game. Like if we were at this point and it wasn't fun, I would probably cut my losses and scrap it. But like I spend hours on this. Like all my days off, I've been on this game, like playing it. I'm testing it, but I'm also just like having a lot of fun playing it. So thinking that's going to translate well for other players too.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. For sure.
Right on. With that, we've hit our 30-minute mark, so I think it's time to wrap up this show. If you've been listening to this, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you're not in our Discord, you got to go to knobcat.com, find that Discord link, join us there. That's where we can talk about the game. You can ask questions, and all of the updates get posted there in the update channel, so join so you don't miss anything. And of course we have our Instagram, which Nyka takes care of now. It's at Dungeons Obelisk, so if you want to see some of the art and stuff, that's the place to follow us. And everything else is at knobcat.com. And with that, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.